Previously on the last Pokémon Crystal challenge run. Hit yourself again, do it. You know you want to. Go on. And coming up. Or he can just not bother to heal because he knows his fate anyway. Welcome back to 4 Moves. This is the series where we grab a Pokemon, we give it 4 moves, and we see just how long it takes us to defeat Shred. Sometimes we have a right old nightmare of a challenge and it takes us forever, and other times it's fairly smooth. And I think this challenge is going to go into the latter of those two categories, because today we are running Tauros. Tauros is a Pokemon that has a little bit of a struggle in the classic Generation 2 challenge run, mostly because we've got nothing for Rival 2, but here in 4 Moves we don't have that problem. So let's now take a look at the moves we're going to pick for this run. Now there are some Pokemon where I have to and ah quite a lot about the learn set, and then there are others like Tauros where it really is all just laid out for us. We're going to go really basic with the learn set, starting off with Hidden Power Rock. That is for Charizard and Charizard only. It's going to be quad super effective and it will stop us getting burnt. We're going to go for Return in our 4th slot here. That will build up throughout the course of the challenge and be our main attacking move later on. And then we're going to go for Body Slam in slots number 1. That's going to be our early game attacking move, replacing Tackle there. And then finally, to give us something to hit the Ghost types, as well as doing a lot of damage to Steel and Rock types, we're going to go for Earthquake. It's budget, it's basic, it's a very simple learn set, but I think it'll get us very far throughout this challenge. So we are level 5 with 23 HP, holding a berry with Body Slam, Earthquake, Hidden Power Rock, and Return. 16 in attack, 15 in defense, 10 in special attack, 13 in special defense, and 17 in speed. Sometimes you don't need to reinvent the wheel, you've just got to go for a bit of brute force. I think that's going to be the case with this Tauros challenge. We've got 100 in our attack stat, we've got 110 in speed. There's going to be next to nothing that can withstand our entire force throughout the course of this challenge. Now, I am expecting very good things from the Tauros challenge. We did have not the best time, should we say, in our main series for Tauros. Mostly because Rival 2 can be a royal pain. We get absolutely nothing for Rival 2 because we don't learn Mud Slap. So we have to lose a lot of time depleting power points so that we can struggle our way through that battle, and it's not a consistent battle. But we've got Earthquake for Rival 2 this time, so that will not be a problem. I really am looking forward to seeing the final time of this one. I don't think we're going to quite hit Scyther levels of speed, but I think we could be challenging Tentacruel there for 2nd spot. We haven't really played with too many normal types in this format yet, so we haven't seen the true power of the normal type come through quite yet, but I'm sure over the course of the next weeks and months we'll throw some normal types into the mix. Normal's always going to be my favourite type to run in Generation 2. There's so many different ways you can play a normal type. And with this one, it's just brute force. We don't have hands, so we can't do any punching shenanigans, and our special attack is also pretty atrocious, so there's no need to go for any of the tutor moves. It does mean we're going to potentially have a tricky Jasmine on our hands, but if we only have one tricky gym leader throughout the entirety of Johto, I will be very happy with this one. We've already made it back to Professor Elm's lab in under a minute and 45 seconds, and we can be on our merry way towards Violet City now. Hopefully we'll get the encounter luck that we need here to get a very quick run through. We're not going to need to do Sprout Tower, we're not going to need to do anything really, because we have 95 defense on top of our offensive stats. So with Johto being physically orientated, we're not going to be worrying too much about a few stray hits here and there taking our HP down. We're not going to need to heal very often at all. Really good encounter luck through that first part of the challenge up to Violet City. We'll grab the Bitter Berry from behind the tree, and there we go. We have an encounter at long last, and it's Ghosts of Runs Past with that Ladybird. Definitely don't want to be seeing Ladybird in a challenge run anytime soon. Let's go straight into our first gym together now, and I think we're going to have a very good time here. We are going to take a little bit of damage from Peck. We grow up to level 7, and we will take on the 2nd Bird Keeper. Once again, we're just going to Body Slam. I don't think we need to use Hidden Power until we get to Falkner. Hidden Power Rock is hopefully going to one-shot Falkner's Pidgey, and I'm hoping for a 2-shot on Falconer's Pidgeotto. So let's engage him in battle. He's our first gym leader together. He is a flying type specialist, leads with Pidgey. Pidgey goes down in 1. Here comes Pidgeotto. We do a lot of damage. Gust barely tickles us at all. We grow to level 9 and we defeat Falconer first try. Zephyr Badge acquired in a time of 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Read that as 2 minutes and 30 seconds then, and I thought, no, that's a little bit too quick, even for Tauros. But that does mean we can go into the Violet City Pokemon Center because we're playing on the 4 moves patch. We don't get the egg, but we do get the escape rope, and we can get the heck out of here, grab the Periscure Berry en route, and make our way down towards the Union Cave. I've taken on just a couple of optionals on the route to Union Cave, no need to take on any more. I am going to be curious though to take on the rock-type trainers in here. I want to see just how much Earthquake is doing. That's quite a lot actually considering Onyx's high defences. That fills me with a little bit of confidence for taking on Jasmine and her Steelix later on. We're also going to take on Russell. This will give us some extra defensive stat experience, because even though we have quite high defences, I am worried about Jasmine's Iron Tail. So taking on a couple of extra battles might give us an extra 1 or 2 in that stat, and it could make all of the difference. We'll take on the Coughing Trainer as well, should be able to body slam him without needing to use a super effective move, and we'll grow up to level 12. One of the few drawbacks of Tauros is that we're in the slow experience group, so that means we are going to be fighting for those levels, especially in the early part of this challenge. However, when you're able to one-shot most things, it doesn't really matter that much, because as long as we're one-shotting and outspeeding, which we will do with our 110 in speed, we're going to be in for a fairly quick ride regardless. We'll get ourselves some repels and some super potions here. We will have a little chat with Kurt, and I don't even think we're going to need to go for a heal. We'll go straight in to the Slowpoke well now, where we'll take on the Rockets. As you'd kind of expect from Tauros, it was one-shot City through the grunts, and we should be able to 2-shot this Coughing. That looked very close to a one-shot there, but I think going in fairly low-leveled meant it was never going to be a one-shot. But we are now through the Slowpoke well, and that can let us in to gym number 2. Now, offensively, the Rock type is bloomin' brilliant early game. At the moment, we're able to one-shot all of these bugs without needing to use our Hidden Power Rock. But when we get to Scyther, that is going to be quad weak to the Rock type, so I think we'll be in for a fairly easy time against it. We will use another Body Slam against this Beedrill, we'll knock it out in 1, and we'll do full trainers in here today, because Benny should be a one-shot as well. Not Benny, Josh, with his Paras. His Paras can be dangerous if you can't one-shot it, because it has a chance to status you, so we'll just have to get rid of it before it gets the chance to status us. Up next is Bugsy. Bugsy is our second gym leader together today, a rock-type specialist led with Metapod that went down in 1. If we get rid of Metapod, we get rid of Kakuna, and here comes the Scyther. Damageless Bugsy, don't see that very often. Time of 7 minutes and 51 seconds for the Hive badge. Let's get out of here and let's go straight into our second rival battle. This time he is going to lead with Ghastly. And aren't we happy about that? Because we have Earthquake, so this is revenge for all those Tauros challenges where we could do nothing against that Ghastly. We'll get rid of Zubat as well. Here comes the Croconaw. It's going to be a 2-shot, no doubt. Croconaw's paralysed, does a tiny bit of damage from Water Gun, and we are through it before it even began, really. Nice, that is what we like to see. A very quick rival too. That lets us get into the forest now, where we've got a little bit of funky movement to do before we get out of the other side, because we need to go and get ourselves the scythe. Just a reminder that we play with HM items. That means that we only have the challenge Pokemon in our party. All of the HMs have been replaced with specific items to be used in the overworld as a replacement. We do also have some field moves replaced with items as well, such as a tree shaker there if we really wanted to headbutt these trees, but I don't think we need to. Instead, we'll get straight out of here and we'll make our way in to Goldenrod. As always, the first thing we'll do in Goldenrod is pick up the bike. That's going to let us move in double quick speed for the rest of the challenge. Let us select it into our select spot there. and we'll go straight into the underground to take on this pair of mandatories. And we can also pick up the coin case at the same time so that we can get the Abra, so we can teleport all the way back to Goldenrod after we've had a little chat with Floria. This is one of the few parts of Gen 2 I really don't like. I don't like having to backtrack all the way back to Goldenrod just because you have to speak to somebody at what is ostensibly a dead end in the road at this point of the challenge. Never really made too much sense to me, and I suppose if you didn't have a guide or didn't know how to play the game because you've not played it quite as often as we have here on the channel, it wouldn't really make too much sense, would it? But we can counter that, of course, by going into the game corner and grabbing the rental Abra. That will function exactly like a regular teleport, except we get it from the bag instead of from the party menu. Now, once again, the rock type is going to prove to be very useful on the way up here, because we don't have to use our earthquakes against Picnicker Kim, and we're also going to take on the Bumphead Fire Ducks after we have taken on this camper. Ivan has Zubat and 2 Diglett, I do believe, so it's going to be a very, very easy battle. And we can move on to the Fire Breather. That spinner there to the right, Juggler Irwin, he is the worst spinner in the challenge. We are absolutely going to try and avoid him at all costs. He's probably the second worst trainer that we have the chance of hitting in the challenge. The other one being the swimmer, I think it's Swimmer George with the 6 Pokemon when we go and get the Whirl Island rare candy on runs which need it. He is the absolute worst, but Irwin, he is mandatory to go past at least twice in every challenge, and quite often he ends up hitting you. Now we're going to risk it here by taking on Alan. I want to see how much Body Slam does against his Tangler, because this will give me a good indication of how well our physical attack is doing, and it's not doing too badly at all. So that fills me with even more confidence. Let's get back to Goldenrod now though. We'll do a quick PP heal and we'll go into the gym. So once again, I don't think we're going to have any issues at all in gym number 3. We do have to get through last carry first, so she's got a schnabbabababble. But because we are the normal type, she can't lick us, so she can't paralyze us, even if she did survive that one hit there. Let's now take on Whitney, our 3rd gym leader together today, a normal type specialist who leads with Clefairy. One shot on the Clefairy with Body Slam, out comes the Miltank, we've paralysed it, she goes for Rollout and crits. Rollout connects for 2 turns in a row, but that is our lot for Whitney. We get through on our first attempt and we get the playing badge in a time of 12 minutes and 46 seconds. That feels like a long Goldenrod split, but it's just because our Azalea split was so blummin' fast that it feels like it's a very long time. Nearly forgot the squirt bottle there, that would have been devastating. We've only lost a couple of seconds from that little brain fart. It's because I knew I didn't want to go and heal in Goldenrod today. We're absolutely fine. We get ethers if we need a little bit more PP between here and Olivine City, and it is going to save a teeny tiny bit of time on this challenge. And this is one of those ones where I think every second may count, really, because we are on a very, very good pace. Getting through to Ecruteak City in under 14 minutes is no mean feat at all. Let's start off with the Kimono Girls. I like this routing at the moment, where we go straight into the Kimono Girls, deal the damage to them, and then go across to Olivine, because that means we can make the most out of our PP heals. Look at that, we one-shot the Espeon. I doubt we're going to one-shot the Umbreon, but I think we're going to get fairly close, all things considered. Yeah, we do over half. 2-shot on the Umbreon is nothing to sniff at whatsoever. And then we've got 2 fairly easy Pokemon to finish off with as well, starting off here with Vaporeon, where we don't one-shot. I wonder if that was a range, and then we'll have Earthquake for this Jolteon. The Kimono Girls proving to be nothing but an obstacle towards us getting Surf in this particular challenge, as we get the Raft in 14 minutes and 24 seconds. Now that we've done that, we will continue on west towards Olivine City. I am going to stick on a Repel today. I'm remembering now. It's taken me a while to remember to stick on that Repel there, but it is finally clicking in the old brain. We can use Earthquake against this Corsola to grow up to level 24, and then we will go and grab the Mintberry and the Cowpoo Nugget from the Moo Moo farm. That Mintberry is going to come in handy, probably for Chuck over Morty today. I've got a feeling, you know, we're going to one-shot all of Morty's Pokemon, so we won't have to worry too much. Kind of annoyed that I got hit by Norman here, but not much we can do. He is a spinner, and when you're on the bike, it is kind of hard to control those ones that go around very, very quickly. We'll reunite the married couple in this particular challenge, though. I do like reuniting Derek and Ruth together. There's a whole load of lore we've got on our streams about Derek and Ruth, about the cheating scandal with Pokefan Jamie in the dark there, but you'll have to tune into the streams to find out more. Remember to subscribe if you want to find out when I am live. We'll get ourselves 12 super repels here, and because I will forget later, we'll take the teeny tiny second time loss by going to get strength now as opposed to going back via Olivine. And now we will go into the lighthouse where we'll have a little chat with Jazz. Now Jazz is going to be waiting quite some time for us today. We're probably going to end up doing her 7th, but we will get the first half of her storyline all underway. We'll get out of here now and we'll go back into the Olivine Pokemon Center for a quick PP pit stop, and then it's a very, very quick cycle back up to Ecruteak City, remembering to dodge that trainer there because we didn't take him on. We can dodge the Bird Keeper and we'll get ourselves into the Burnt Tower, where we're going to have our 3rd rival battle together. We'll stick on a repel here as well to make sure that we get no random encounters. And this time he's going to lead with Haunter. I think we're going to be in for another really easy battle here. We'll start off with an Earthquake against a Haunter. It will go down in 1. He sends out his Magnemite second, and once again Earthquake is a one-shot. We can't Earthquake a Zubat though because it's not on the floor, so we'll use a Body Slam against that. We get a little nibble taken out of us from the Korokanor, but that is his lot for this one. We fall through the floor in exactly 18 minutes. We'll release the beast, and now before we take on Morty, we must not forget to pick up the HP up in here. We have the Repel Steps, and it is a really good item to pick up now because it means that we don't have to pick the one up in the Victory Road, and it's going to save a little bit of time later. With that, we are in to our next gym together. We're going to use Hidden Power against low-level Pokemon, and then we'll use our Earthquakes as and when we need to when we have the Haunters. But there are a lot of mandatory trainers in here, so let's skip to Morty. Just for safety purposes, we are going to hold on to the Minceberry for this battle. I don't think we're going to need it, but there is no harm in keeping hold of it. This is Morty, the dual Ghost and Poison Spectacular leader, led with Garcia that went down in 1. Haunter follows it in the same way. Here is That Was Gengar. We grow to level 29, and we've got the last Haunter left to go. There we go, nice and simple Morty. Fog Badge acquired in 19 minutes and 57 seconds. You can always get a good benchmark of a quick challenge when we get sub 20 minute Morty, especially with us already having done the Kimono Girls. That is really, really fast. I am going to take on Pokemaniac Miller here. I think he is far too valuable experience points when you're in the slow experience group to not do. He's a very quick battle as well, 2 one-shots with Earthquake, and then we can escape rope out of here, so it's not a big time loss. I cannot stand that spinner there. No, the bike shop's in line with the spinner, thank goodness for that. That could have been terrifying. We could have ended up with a spinner time loss there. Let us use another repel now to get us up to the lake, and we'll also plonk these super repels kind of high up. We've dodged the Lickitung trainer today. We are going to take on Pokemaniac Ron. He is the 3rd Nido of all of our Nido trainers. Always nice to take on as well. And you know what? While we're in the neighbourhood, I want to see how much we do against this Slowbro. It's going to give me a good indication of things to come, and not too shabby, all things considered. Let us now go to the lake itself, where we'll take on the Gyarados. Body Slam running neutral at the moment is actually going to do more damage than Hidden Power Rock, just by virtue of Whitney's badge boost, so we are going to take full advantage of that. We'll have a little chat with Lance the Liar, and now we do need to go and grab a couple of bits from this side of the lake. First thing being the full restore here, and the second is going to be the rare candy up in this tree here. Just a reminder, never play on Wednesdays in this game, because on Wednesdays there is a trainer blocking your way there, so you won't be able to get the rare candy from there, and you'll be in for a bad time on one of the first challenges I ever ran. I ended up playing on a Wednesday, and it didn't do me any good whatsoever. And now that we've been to the Hidden Powerhouse, we will teleport all the way back to Olivine. We'll replenish our power points in the Pokémon Center, and now we have a very quick trip across the ocean to get ourselves to Cianwood City. Here in Cianwood, we need to go and have a little chat with the man in the dodgy shop to pick up the secret potion, and then we need to go in to our next gym together. This is the fighting type gym, so technically we have the type disadvantage, so we'll put on Body Slam back into slot 1, and we are able to one-shot the first of the tag team trainers here. Are we going to be able to one-shot the Hitmonchan? Not quite, but Comet Punch means absolutely nothing at all, really. Now, this is the only gym where we are having a type disadvantage, so I think we need to play this one a little bit more carefully than we otherwise will have to for the rest of the gyms. For now, though, we have to get through all of these mandatory trainers, and Chuck is one of those people who he likes to pay his mandatory trainers overtime, so that is why they are all mandatory and not optional here. He's obviously got the cash to splash around to pay all of their wages. Let's use a couple of these potions, free up the bag space, and we'll take on Chuck. Chuck is our 5th gym leader together today. He is a fighting type specialist who's going to lead with Primeape. We one-shot the Primeape, and here comes the Poliwrath. We do a lot of damage, and we've paralysed it. Mind Reader's perfect, that's what we want. We can knock it out on turn 2, and we obtain the Storm Badge in 23 minutes and 40 seconds. Goodness me, we really are on a roll on this one so far. Now, we have the air balloon. That means I've got a teeny tiny bit of housekeeping to get on with, and then we'll meet back up in Mahogany. Here in Mahogany, the first thing we have to do is this bloomin' Rockets hideout. It's going to be a bit of a time sink, but I'm sure we'll get through as quickly as we possibly can, considering we're running one of the strongest physical attacking Pokemon in all of Generation 2, and even though we are in the slow experience group, we're not exactly shy of level advantage over any of these trainers. Now, something I'm trying to do with the videos in recent times is reduce the number of cuts we have per episode and per challenge, so that we have a much more natural flow. I really like the ultra long form style of videos we've been doing together here on the channel. I think that kind of 50 minutes to an hour and 10 minutes challenge really is giving us a lot of time to get to know the Pokemon and the ins and outs of it, more so than we have done in the past, especially when we did our Just the Battle style edits, where it was rapid fire, gym leader to rival to gym leader to rival to Elite Four to 8 gym leaders to Red, and then we were done in about 20 minutes. So I'm going to try and make a concerted effort to keep this a little bit more long form, try and keep it engaging, try and keep the conversation flowing throughout, but I'm not going to be pressuring myself to keep the videos brief anymore. Now, even though I am trying to keep the cuts brief, there are some things that aren't ever worth keeping in the challenge videos, and this is one of them. Mahogany Hideout was easy. I don't think there was a single Pokemon that withstood a single shot from our Tauros. So let's get out of here and let's get straight into gym number 6. This is Price's Ice-type gym, and I think he's going to be a bit of a joke today. Let us take care of Roxanne first, and now we're on to Price. Price is our 6th gym leader together today. He is an Ice-type specialist who leads with a Seal. So one shot on the Seal, would expect nothing less. Probably going to be a 2-shot on the Dugong. Let's use a pair of Body Slams to find out. Aurora Beam does not drop our attack, so we are absolutely fine for the Piloswine. We'll use Body Slam. I think there's no way of avoiding a healing loop here, or he can just not bother to heal because he knows his fate anyway. Glacier Badge in 29 minutes and 31 seconds. Let's get out of here, let's do a heal. And now we've put her off long enough, we have to take on Jazz next. And to take on Jazz, we need to climb back up to the tippy top of the lighthouse. Here we will give her the secret potion, and then she'll pocket it. She'll follow the usual scripts there, and we will take chase, just like this. Secret potion pretends to go into Amphi. She then legs it off. We use our escape rope to follow her, and we make it into her gym. Now there is a chance we take a reset here. We'll have to see. This is Jasmine. She is our 7th gym leader together today, a Steel-type specialist. leads with Magnemite. We're going to get no info about how good our Earthquake is going to be on the Steelix, because Earthquake is quad super effective against the Magnemite. Oh, it's looking like a 3-shot on this Steelix. That's not great, but we can tank those Iron Tails. Only a crit would have finished us off there, and that didn't happen. And that is by far our hardest gym battle done in a time of 30 minutes and 35 seconds. Let's get ourselves back to Mahogany now. We'll do a quick heal, and then we'll go through the ice path. Now that we are through Jasmine, I am feeling a lot more confident about this challenge. I think we've got through the hardest part, at least in the early part of this challenge. I can't really see anything coming up that's going to be particularly devastating or particularly brutal for us. Maybe if Lance goes a little bit badly, maybe if we are slightly low on the old attack, then we could have some problems there. But he is fairly easy to mitigate compared to a lot of other trainers, because we've got access to the Prosecure Berry. I don't think we're going to have any issues with any of the other trainers though. We'll do full items barring Nevermelt Ice here in the ice path. We'll go over to Blackthorn and dip ourselves into the Pokemon to buy our standard 12 Max Repels. That's all we need now for the rest of the challenge. We'll grab the Elixir down here, and then we'll try and avoid this spinner at all costs, which we do. We'll grab the Nugget, no need for the extra Prosecure Berry, all the PP up today, switch straight back to Goldenrod. And of course, the first thing we need to do back in Goldenrod is take care of the Rockets. We are partway through that, and we have another rival battle to take care of. Once again, I'm expecting a fairly easy affair here. He's going to lead with Golbat. Return is more than capable of one-shotting that, so we move on to Magnemites. We've got Earthquake for the Magnemites, so it goes down in a single hit. He sends out his Haunter, so we'll continue Earthquaking here. And up next is Sneasel. We'll swap back to Return now for the Sneasel. It goes down in one. And then we're probably going to two-shot this for Alligator as he takes another nibble out of us. And once again, the rival putting up less than 0 resistance. That means we have even more Rockets to deal with. And I always take a little break before doing rival number 4, and on that break I took a look at our previous challenge result times for our Tauros. Now this isn't a like-for-like comparison because we don't have the same rule set in play, but we had a 125.48 before and a 147.48 as well, and I think we're going to smash both of those times very easily. Remember, on those challenges we did have to do the struggle strategy at Rival 2, and we also didn't have 4 very strong moves from the beginning of the challenge, so it is nowhere near a like-for-like comparison. But it's always interesting to see, and I like seeing the difference that 4 moves makes with some of these Pokemon that have really tough times with their own natural level up learn sets. I always try to say that 4 moves is a Pokemon at its best possible potential. We are seeing the absolute pinnacle of what this line can bring to the table, whereas with our standard challenges, the ones where we learn the moves as we level up, that is how they are naturally in-game. And now we have made it once again to the very top of the radio tower, where we have one final executive left to go. This is going to be one of the easiest battles I think Tauros will ever face. It's going to be 3 one-shots against all of the executives' Pokemon, and that means we are done with Team Rocket for yet another challenge. The Direct comes back into the radio tower, gives us a clear bell. We'll ignore that. We don't know what it does and we don't care to find out. And now we can pick up our actual rewards. First of all, the pink bow from Marie. And then we'll go all the way down to the bottom floor of the radio tower, where we have to answer this brief little survey. And after answering the survey correctly, we get the radio card, and now we can leave here and make our way back to Blackthorn City, where there's only one thing we need to do, and that is get ourselves into the gym, where we are going to be facing a bunch of dragons. We're about to face the litmus test for Claire here with Cool Trainer Mike and his level 37 Dragonair, and we comfortably one-shot it. I think that means we're in for a very good time with Claire. We do have to get through Lola first though, and she can be a little bit of a pain in the bum, just because she is a double dragon trainer. There we go, we are through Lola. Let us now take on Claire. She is our final Jotonian gym leader. She is a Dragon-type specialist who's going to lead with Dragonair. As we expected, it's a one-shot on the first one. That means it's going to be a one-shot on the second one. And would you believe it's also going to be a one-shot on Dragonair number 3. Out comes the Kingdra. We'll start off with an Earthquake. She uses Smoke Screen, Return connects on turn 2, and we avoid the Healing Loop. And we are through Claire, and we can rush into the Dragon's Den now to get her badge. There's a big habit of a lot of Johtonian leaders not giving you the badge straight away. You've always got to do something extra. And with Claire, you've got to go all the way into this horrible, horrible Dragon's Den, where this so-and-so's waiting for us as well. We don't like Darren. We'll never like Darren. But we are through Darren, so we don't have to dwell on him so much in this particular challenge. We'll get through the Whirlpool and we'll go into the Dragon's Den. It's 1212 yet again to answer this survey. That will make Claire come into the Dragon Shrine, and we are going to get our next badge, the Rising Badge, in 41 minutes and 43 seconds. Always happy with sub-hour Claire, even happier with sub-50-minute Claire. We've got sub-45-minute Claire, so we really are on a very good pace. And now we are very much in go mode for the rest of this challenge, at least up until past the Elite Four and through to Blue. We shouldn't have any more optionals that we need to take on. We should just be able to get through fairly quickly. That does mean I have to do a little bit of awkward movement here around the Cool Trainer, and we'll take on Cool Trainer Beth because she is a mandatory, unfortunately. We should be able to just use a single return against her, though, to knock her out. We will pick up this extra max elixir, that could come in handy. And now we'll do the little loop-de-loop here and make our way in to Victory Road. Now, I have a feeling I accidentally used the HP up, because we are running 1 HP, or at least we were running 1 HP below maximum HP. So I'm going to pick up the other one just in case. And now we'll take on the 5th and final rival battle. He's going to lead this time with Sneasel, and that's going to be an easy one-shot to get us started, so he'll move on to his Golbat. Return makes light work of the Golbat, even with all of its physical defense, and we can move on to Magneton. We'll one-shot Magneton with Earthquake, and we'll do the same against the Haunter. That brings us on to the Kadabra, where we'll use the return, and we've just got for Alligator left to go. We'll use a Hidden Power because we might as well. He gets a critical hit with Slash, but that's about all the damage he can do. There we go, through Rival 5 in under 45 minutes. Let us now buy our 4 full restores, and you know what? We'll buy a bunch more as well, just in case we need them later on. And we're just going to bag heal this health here. Let's now take a look at our stats and make some predictions going into the league. We are level 46 with 147 HP, holding the pink bow, with Return, Earthquake, Hidden Power, Rock, and Body Slam. 129 in attack, 121 in defense, 72 in special attack, 100 in special defense, and 133 in speed. Now, in terms of this league, I think we're going to have an easy time of it all the way through. Karen will throw a spanner in the works, as she always does, and we might not be able to one-shot Lance's Dragonite, but the rest of the league should be very, very trivial indeed. And so there is no time like the present. Let's get on with the Pokemon League. Our first league member is Will. He's a Psychic-type specialist who leads with a Xatu. We one-shot the Xatu, and we would expect nothing less from that as the Jinx comes out. Another one-shot, and here comes Executor. I doubt we're going to one-shot the Executor, but we shall see. We critical hit, so we do one-shot it regardless. We'll use a Body Slam first against the Slowbro as he goes for Amnesia, so we'll do a double Body Slam here. And then we'll go back to Return for the final Xatu. Body Slam has Body Slam, and we've defeated Will. I don't know where that Body Slam came from. Will is down though in 45.08. Let's move on to Koga. He's our second league member, Poison-type specialist, leads with Ariados. Once again, we one-shot with Return to get us started, and we'll not change the habit of a lifetime by doing the same against the Venomoth. Now, we don't have anything fantastic for the Fortress, and it could turn into a bomb, so we've just got to hope that Koga's AI is kind to us, just like that. We've got Muck next. We'll continue using Earthquake against the Muck. We don't quite one-shot it, but we can finish it off with a Return. We grow to level 48 as the Crobat comes into play. We low roll maybe, or did we high roll? Hard to tell. Looks like we high rolled. Should be fine against the Crobat, taking a couple of turns of damage there. And we are through Koga. Let us do a very, very quick heal here for Bruno. I think we need it. and we'll take him on. Bruno's a fighting type specialist, so he does have the type advantage over us, and he leads with Hitmontop. We'll use Return against Hitmontop, we'll knock it out in 1, and we'll do exactly the same against the Hitmonlee. Hitmonchan will come out, and we will take some guaranteed damage here, courtesy of Mach Punch. But if that's the worst that happens, we can feel pretty good about ourselves. We'll Body Slam the Machamp, and we knock it out in 2. But we are only on 6 HP for the Onyx. Oh no. Right, okay, that is not great for our Tauros. This seems to be a little bit of a trickier battle than I anticipated. We meant to use Return there against the Hitmontop, and we'll use Return once more against the Hitmonlee. Up to the Hitmonchan we go, take our guaranteed damage, and we knock it out. Here comes Machamp once more. We don't crit, but Cross Chop misses. That means he's caught in a healing loop, and we can knock it out in a further 2 returns. We've got the Onyx left to go once more. We will use a couple of Earthquakes to finish it off. We grow to a nice and clean level 49 there, and we get through Bruno. Right, we are going to now heal for Karen. We're also going to use our 5 rare candies to get ourselves up to level 54. We'll use a HP up. Turns out we did have the extra HP up, and we will also hold on to the Bitterberry that we got at the very beginning of this challenge. That's all the prep work for Karen done. Let's take her on. She's a Dark type specialist who leads with Umbreon. We use Return against the Umbreon, and we crit, and we knock it out in 1. Up next is Vileplume, and yet again another critical hit one-shot. We move on to the Gengar, we Earthquake it, and we knock it out in a single hit. Here comes Murkrow, there goes Murkrow in 1, and we'll do the same against the Houndoom. Very, very easy Karen fight there in 47:59. Now we are going to need to use an elixir for Lance the Liar with the Flyers, and we should probably also, as a little bit of insurance, hold back on to the Pink Bow. Might need to change that for the Periskia Berry. We'll see how much damage we do against his dragons. He leads with Gyarados, and we get a very good start here because we one-shot it. Now, what do we do against these dragons? Ooh, not enough to one-shot. Right, okay. That could be bad, you know. We'll have to see how we do for the rest of this battle. We get crit. We're going to hold on to the Periskia Berry. I always had a feeling that we wouldn't quite one-shot Lance. We are not Ursaring. We're in the wrong experience group and slightly lower physical attack. Is this a natural one-shot? No. So the Pink Bow did boost us for the Gyarados there. We have a 50-50 chance of getting through unscathed now, though. This is where we're going to get most of our time loss, I reckon. We'll Body Slam these Dragonite on turn 1, and we get paralysed. At least now we know we need to hold on to the Periskia Berry. There was always going to come a point, I think, where we ended up having a bit of a struggle here, and it just so happens that it is Lance on this particular occasion. There we go, we get the Gen 2 miss. We're not going to get paralysed for the rest of this battle now. We are going to still try and paralyse his Dragonite, but it's meaningless in the grand scheme of things. We'll get rid of them both, and here comes Aerodactyl. We've got Hidden Power for the Aerodactyl, and it's a one-shot. We'll get through Charizard with a one-shot as well, guarantee that with our Hidden Power. And then we'll go back to Body Slam for the final Dragonite. There we go, that's what we like to see with Lance. And we still get through in sub 50 minutes. Are we going to get a sub 50 minute Hall of Fame though? All depends on how much yapping goes on. It's looking like we might just miss it. Our final Hall of Fame time for this challenge is 50 minutes and 4 seconds. That was a fairly smooth run through Johto. There were a couple of places where we didn't have the luck, but overall it was a fairly good ride. Let's now take a look at the midpoint leaderboard for 4 moves, and we are in 2nd place. Just what we expected, ahead of Tentacruel there and behind our Scyther. If we now take a look at the All Crystal midpoint leaderboard, you can see that we are on page 1 in 8th place. So this is our 8th fastest challenge run video through to the Hall of Fame. That is no mean feat at all. When you see Pokemon like Groudon there and Salamence on page 2, and then we've got some heavy hitters even on page 3 now, with Pokemon like Lapras and Charizard, we can be very, very, very happy with ourselves. Look at that, Mewtwo in 61st place now. So yes, we can be incredibly happy with this time so far. Scyther really was an anomaly through this part of the challenge, but Scyther really is in a league of its own for Generation 2 Pokemon, at least the ones we've run so far. This is only half the story though, don't forget that. There is still another 8 gym badges plus the red fight left to come, so don't you dare go anywhere, because Kanto is next. And now we are rejoining the action as we always do here in Vermilion City, where the first thing we'll do is grab a rare candy from the chairman of the Pokemon fan club. With that safely tucked away in our bag for another challenge, we'll take a little trip across the sea here into our first Kantonian gym. We are absolutely going to be doing our standard Kantonian routing on this particular challenge. I don't think there is any need to diverge from the routing that has served us so well. So this is Surge. He is our first gym leader together today here in Kanto. He's an electric type specialist, leads with Raichu. Raichu goes down in one shot, so he sends out Electrode next. We outspeed and we one shot it, and we'll swap to Earthquake for the Magneton. That's a nice and simple quad, super effective one shot, and we'll go back to return now for the rest of this battle. Very good stuff there, an easy gym battle to get us started. Thunder Badge in 52 minutes on the nose. And so up next is a trip to Saffron City. We're going to go into the Pokemon Center here, and then we're going to do a very quick cycle round into our next gym together. Doing this routine totally on the fly, it might not end up being quicker, but I've had this idea that if we can dip into the Pokemon Center here, then go straight to Sabrina, it might end up being a little bit quicker, because we've always got to go to the top of Saffron twice, and this will be 3 one-shots, and you never know, this might end up making the difference for the Erica fight. Because Erica does have a fair amount of bulk. When we're a physical attacker, we can sometimes struggle to one-shot all of her Pokemon. We are going to give the pink bow while we remember, so that we have the best chance of getting through. And then we can rental Abra back to the bottom part of Saffron and make our way into Celadon. I do think, given a little bit of practice with that routing, it will end up being a little bit quicker. Maybe not my wisest move ever doing it on a fast run like this, but sometimes when inspiration hits you for a bit of a routing change, you've just got to take it. You've got to grab the bull by the horns, as it were, and just give it a go. Because I do think at this point, a couple of seconds here or there, when we have a 3-minute buffer over Tentacruel, isn't going to make the biggest world of difference. And if I can get that routing committed to muscle memory, I think we're going to end up with quite a good time. Don't know why the reset counter's gone up there. Not sure what happened, so let's fix that so that it shows 3 again. And we will move on to our next gym battle, which is Erica. She is a grass type specialist, and she's going to lead with Tangela. Now, Tangela's one of the ones I was worried about. The other one is the Blossom at this battle, but we've one-shot the Tangela, so that's making me feel pretty blooming good about the rest of this battle now. We get through the Jumpluff, we get through the Victory Bell as well. We grow up to level 58, and we knock out the Blossom. There we go, Erica defeated in a time of 54 minutes and 7 seconds. Let us now get out of here, and we'll go down south to Fuchsia City, where we're going to take on Janine. Now, this is probably the trickiest movement in Kanto. We've got to try and hug the very, very right-hand side there to make sure that we don't end up getting caught by the very long-distance trainer on the cycling road. We get through Bob and we make our way in to Janine's gym, where we'll take her on. Janine is going to be our 4th Kantonian leader today. She is a poison-type specialist, and she led with Crobat that's gone down in 1. And this is going to be a case of holding down return and getting the easy victory, I reckon. Nothing too much to think about in this particular gym battle. Very, very easy. She doesn't bother with a dire hit. And we get through Janine first try in a time of 55 minutes and 4 seconds. So we can now leave here and we can go back to Saffron. We'll do that via the Rental Abra, and it does mean I've got to try and get my good movement out, because we're going to be going through Rock Tunnel, and this time we're going to be doing it in the dark. And I never like doing it in the dark. It's always a little bit scary. For the first time in quite some time, I didn't completely banjax my movement there, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. We ended up getting through Rock Tunnel fairly easily, and we can get into the power plant now, where we'll have a little chat with the incompetence manager of here. We will then get a little notification that there's something going on in Cerulean, so you know what? We'll check it out. We'll go back to Saffron City now. We've already taken care of Sabrina, so we can go into Cerulean. We'll fly to the Pokemon Center, save a little bit of movement there, and we'll pop into the gym. We're not going to pick up the machine part yet, though, because we do have everyone's favourite Nugget Bridge to contend with. And on this Nugget Bridge, I want to talk to you about pacing, because doing these challenges really can take it out of you, so I am doing my absolute best to pace myself with them. I think that taking on one very hard challenge a month is about my limit at the moment, especially with the brain fog that I've got after falling ill earlier this year. So I'm going to try my absolute best to cross off one difficult challenge from the main series leaderboard each month. In January, we had the pleasure of taking Lickitung right through to the very end, and in February, we have done Ledian. I do have a couple of extra main series videos planned for this month, but they may end up being subbed out for other challenges, depending on my energy levels. This challenge here is actually one that's got subbed out. I was initially going to be doing Ariados in this slot, but doing back-to-back fairly difficult bug types, my brain just could not handle it. So I'm allowing myself a lot more flexibility than I otherwise used to when it comes to challenge runs. I used to commit hard to a specific challenge, and that I think is part of the reason why I ended up running out of steam a couple of times doing these challenge runs. But it is all a learning process. There's no handbook to teach you how to be a challenge runner. You've got to kind of make it up as you go along, and eventually you do end up learning the strategies, learning the bits and pieces that help you become a much more consistent and competent runner. Let us now take on Misty. She's going to be our next gym leader together today. She's a water type specialist led with Golduck that went down in 1. Quagsire follows suit. We grow to level 60, and here comes the Lapras. We are able to one-shot. Goodness me, I was going to say we're not able to one-shot there, but that would have been a lie. 4 one-shots for Misty. Cascade Badge acquired in 58:47. Now, I don't think we're going to get Brock's badge in under the hour, because we've only got a minute to get there, but we are still on a very good time regardless. Like I mentioned earlier, I think Scyther is very much in a league of its own at the moment. There are a couple of Pokemon I can think of that can potentially match its time, but with Tauros being in the slow experience group and not having any way to naturally boost its attack via something like Swords Dance, it was always going to be slightly slower. But I think that Tauros is going to be right at the top of the list of those Pokemon that do not have a stat boosting move. Let us now get through this pesky Snorlax, one of 2 that we have to see throughout the course of this challenge, and we'll make our way through Diglett's Cave. We're going to try and avoid 3-Drill on this particular occasion. As much as I would love to battle him, we are very much against the clock, and we'll make our way in to our next gym together. We're battling Campageri as the hour mark ticks over. Very easy battle, of course, and we'll now take on Brock. Brock is our 3rd from last gym leader in this challenge, and he leads with Graveler. We are just going to hope that Earthquake does enough against all of his Pokemon here. I really hope that it is going to be enough to one-shot them all. I think the only Pokemon coming up where we are going to struggle with a non-stab one-shot is going to be Blue's Rhydon. Rhydon is causing me a little bit of worry even now, but we've got a little bit of a way to go. 1 hour 31 seconds for Brock's badge. Let's now get out of here and let's start heading towards our penultimate gym, which is going to be on Cinnabar Island. Still trying to get used to this particular movement here. Max Repel into Air Balloon, into Fly, dip in the Pokemon Center, and then we go down Route 1 into and through Pallet and onto Route 21. That movement there saves a heck of a lot of time and a heck of a lot of awkward movement. It's one that took a very long time for me to learn the muscle memory for, and I'm still not fantastic at it. But it is such a nice, neat little time save. And I think those bits of movement really are where the time saves are going to come in for the rest of our time here in Pokémon Crystal. Let us now take on Blaine. He's a fire-type specialist, leads with Magcargo. We one-shot the Magcargo and it goes down. Up next is going to be the Bumphead Fireduck. We'll swap to return for the Bumphead Fireduck. It's a one-shot, and we will comfortably one-shot the Rapidash as well. 3 one-shots to get our penultimate badge in 101.35. Let us now Rentalabra all the way back to Viridian City, where we have just 1 gym leader left to go. This is Blue. He is our final gym leader rather, and he's going to lead with Pidgeot. We're going to use Return against the Pidgeot, and it is a one-shot. Wonder if the crit mattered there, to be honest. We are on to Alakazam next. That goes down in one shot. Now, I doubt we're going to one-shot the Rhydon, and he has set up a Sandstorm. That is pretty annoying, but I'm hoping that we can then fish for a Rain Dance from the Gyarados. That's exactly what happens, and he gets caught in a bit of a healing loop here. Probably should have used a weaker move on turn number 1, but that's absolutely fine. We can get through the Gyarados, and we are on to Executor. We're going to use a Body Slam on turn 1. He's probably going to use Leech Seed. That's fine. 2 shots knocks it out, and we are on to Arcanine. Once again, I don't think we're going to one-shot, so we're going to Body Slam, hope that it remains fully paralysed. Roar's even better, and we get through on our first try. That is the Earth Badge in 102.44. Let us now do a very, very quick bag heal. We'll use Super Potions because they are the first thing I see, and then we'll use a Max Elixir, and we'll fly back to Pallet. Here in Pallet, we're going to have a little chat with Professor Oak. He is going to open up Silver Cave for us. We are going to be heading there in just a moment. First, though, we are going to stick on a final Super Repel for the challenge. We always Super Repel here, by the way, if we're picking up the rare candy, because it saves on a little bit of extra bag time, because the Repel will wear out just as we are on the road to the rare candy. I'll show you what I mean just here. We need to fly back to Silver Cave. Very important we dip our head in that Pokemon Center. And now just on this straight bit here, the Repel should wear off. So that means that we can combine our rare candying and our repelling. I'll do the rare candying off camera. I'll also get through that first room of Silver Cave off camera, and we'll meet back up for Red. No matter how many times I do Silver Cave in the dark, I always feel like I've messed up, but we got through very easily there. Let us take on Red. He is the final trainer of the challenge. He leads with Pikachu. We outspeed the Pikachu, and we are always going to one-shot it, so let's move on to the Espeon. And we don't quite one-shot, and we take a fair amount of damage from Psychic there. Up third is going to be Snorlax. How much do we do? Less than half, unfortunately. But he's gone for double Amnesia. Interesting. Venusaur is up next. I'm hoping he'll go for Solar Beam just like that. That's absolutely fantastic. Now, are we able to one-shot the Charizard with Hidden Power? Yes, we are. That brings us on to the Blastoise. I'm going to go for a Body Slam and hope that he goes for Rain Dance. He doesn't, and we've ended up knocked out. Not the greatest result in the world there, I've got to be honest. Was hoping for a first try Red, but it just didn't happen. Is this Espeon a range? It might actually be a range. I'm going to fish for a couple of quick resets to see if we can get through this Espeon first try. Because if we can, then I think it's going to be easy street for the rest of this battle. Ooh, it might be the highest roll we need for the Espeon. I'll give it one more go, because it's not consistent regardless of what it is now. Yeah. Right, okay. We might end up needing to leftovers here or something. We shall have to see. We're going to Body Slam this Snorlax now. Hope for a paralysis, but it didn't happen. We ended up paralyzed instead. Let us stick on the leftovers. And you know what? We've probably got room for a HP up, so we'll do that. And we'll get ourselves back up to max HP. And we will try once more. We are not going to be at one-shot range for this Espeon now. That's absolutely guaranteed. But we should have a little bit more bulk behind us with the leftovers recovering health each and every turn. Now, it's probably going to be a 3-shot with Body Slam on this Snorlax, and he's going straight for Body Slam himself. Kinda mean, but we have critical hit. Not the worst outcome in the world, but still not a great position to be in. Venusaur takes in Sunlight, will absolutely take that because we're at such low health. He's not going for Sunny Day. Misclick's there, meant to go for Hidden Power. Please be a consistent one-shot. It's not. Oh, this is where the slow experience group is showing its ugly face. We would be in a much better position at just one level higher. We've crit the Espeon this time, though. That could be massive. We just have to hope we don't get paralyzed by this Snorlax, which we don't. We can finish it off in 3, and we can move back on to the Venusaur. Now, the Venusaur is more likely to use Sunny Day now because we are at a higher level of health. So we've really got to hope that we can one-shot this Charizard. We know it's a range, and we low roll yet again. Flamethrower knocks us out. Oh, this is all about the ranges. I never like it when it's all about the ranges, because sometimes you can get through first try, other times you can be stuck in a little bit of purgatory. Look at that. We've got Reflect up now. Not what we want to see in the slightest. And Snorlax is body slamming straight off the bat. Should be going for Amnesia, but he's decided he doesn't want to play ball. We will get the luck we need at some point. It's just going to be a case of when. And with this one, it's looking like Tauros' luck has kind of run out. We have had a fairly lucky run up until this point. Yet again, going straight for the body slam. That's not what we want to see. And a crit. Oh, it feels like the Ledian luck is back. We'll try body slamming this Espeon. We never know. We might end up paralyzing it. But we don't. And we still two-shot though, so that's fine. Back onto the Snorlax we go. Amnesia first turn this time at the very least. But we get paralysed. We've still not paralysed it with Body Slam. He's getting all the luck there, and we are getting none of the luck. Sub 110 is now looking like a bit of a pipe dream. It was initially looking like it could be the time we were getting, but we have not had the luck on the day where we needed it. Is he going to go straight for Body Slam? Now, if we get the double Amnesia, we could be in business here, but we've been paralysed once more. This is our last chance for sub 110. This red fight is always a bit of a tricky one when you're a physical attacker, just because you've got Reflect from the Espeon. We got a Spadef drop there, for goodness sakes. All going wrong here, and I don't think it's going to be worth going into Mount Mortar and doing that extra movement to get the rare candy there. I don't think it's going to make enough of a difference. I think we need both of them, and doing Whirl Islands is not something I particularly think will be beneficial to us. Now, he's gone for the double Amnesia and Reflect has faded. We'll swap to Body Slam, to Return rather, and we knock it out. Right, let us use a Body Slam against this Venusaur. We paralysed it, but he still managed to get off a Sunny Day. We'll use Return, and once again, we have not got the high roll where we needed it. It's all about this Charizard. If we knock it out in one, we are through. We are now at long last going to get through this battle. We'll go to Return for the Blastoise. He'll go for Surf on turn 2. He does not crit. That means we win, and we just about get sub 110 in a 109.59. Goodness me, what a tricky old red battle that was. I'm very glad we got through eventually. It could have been a lot quicker, but we didn't get the luck on the day. Let's now take a look at the final leaderboard. On the retime, we got 109.58, and that is enough to put us in 6th place on our 4 moves leaderboard. Another day, another luck. We would have been on the podium there, but Red was not playing ball for us. Arcanine has now dropped onto page 2, making a horrible foursome there of Arcanine, Corsola, Sunflora, and Magneton. And if we look at the main leaderboard, or should I say the all-crystal leaderboard, we are comfortably on page 2 in 22nd place, in between Girafarig and Charizard there. And I think that's fairly fair for our Tauros challenge. We had a lot of luck through the early parts of the challenge. Our luck ran out just at red, which sometimes does happen, but we can still be very proud of this result. I'm happy with it, so that means you can hopefully be happy with it too. Now, if you have enjoyed this run, please do make sure to leave a like. It really does help out more than you will ever know. If you want to see more videos just like this, you can always click the subscribe button. If you want to see more videos just like this, but a little bit earlier, you can always join the channel membership and become a HM friend. And of course, if you've got any feedback, please do leave it in the comments down below. I do read all of your lovely comments. But until next time, I will now say thank you all so much for watching. It's been a pleasure as always, and I'll catch you all very, very soon.